You think Capricorn is quiet. That is the first mistake. Capricorn is not quiet because there is nothing to say. Capricorn is quiet because not every thought deserves daylight. And when Mercury, the planet of the mind, speech, memory, and communication, moves through Capricorn energy, words stop being casual. They stop being scattered. They stop being cheap. Suddenly, every sentence feels measured. Every idea feels tested. Every opinion sounds like it had to earn the right to be spoken. And that is exactly why Capricorn's connection to Mercury is so powerful. Because this is not the mind trying to impress you. This is the mind trying to build something that lasts. Now here is what makes this so fascinating. Capricorn is not ruled by Mercury. Capricorn belongs to Saturn, the planet of discipline, structure, time, responsibility, and consequences. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So this is not a soft, natural, easy match. It is something more interesting than that. It is what happens when the fast-moving planet of thought enters the territory of a sign that refuses to waste energy on anything meaningless. It is what happens when the messenger walks into the boardroom and realizes every word will be remembered. That changes everything. Mercury by itself likes movement. It likes questions, ideas, facts, reactions, conversation, and mental speed. It likes to compare, sort, connect, interpret, and respond. Mercury wants to know what is happening now. Capricorn wants to know what will still matter later. Mercury asks, "What do I think?" Capricorn asks, "What can I do with that thought?" Mercury gathers information. Capricorn turns it into a plan. Mercury speaks. Capricorn makes that speech carry weight. And when those two energies meet, you get one of the most underrated kinds of intelligence in astrology. Not loud intelligence. Not flashy intelligence. Not the kind that performs for applause. Capricorn-linked Mercury energy is strategic intelligence. It is the mind that sees structure where other people see confusion. It is the voice that does not rush because it understands timing. It is the person who can listen to 10 people talk in circles, say one sentence, and somehow become the only one everyone remembers. That is the first real secret here. Capricorn does not make Mercury more entertaining. Capricorn makes Mercury more effective. And that is where the power starts becoming visible. Because when Mercury wears Capricorn's armor, communication becomes intentional. These are the people who often think before they speak, edit before they reveal, and observe before they trust. They do not always talk quickly, but they often talk with purpose. They do not always say a lot, but what they say tends to land. Sometimes it lands like truth. Sometimes it lands like a warning. Sometimes it lands like a reality check nobody asked for, but everybody needed. That is why this energy can feel intimidating without even trying. A lot of people assume charisma comes from sparkle, warmth, and endless expression. But Capricorn introduces another kind of presence. The presence of control. The presence of restraint. The presence of someone who does not need to fill every silence because they are not afraid of silence. And Mercury learns from that. In Capricorn, Mercury stops chasing attention and starts protecting value. The mind becomes less interested in sounding clever and more interested in being right. Less interested in speed and more interested in precision. Less interested in excitement and more interested in results. And if you know Capricorn energy in real life, you have probably seen this already. This is the person who may not text back with 20 heart emojis, but will send you the exact solution to your problem. This is the person who may not dominate the conversation at dinner, but later says one thing so sharp and accurate that you think about it for 3 days. This is the person who may not confess emotions in a dramatic speech, but quietly proves loyalty through consistency, planning, and follow-through. When Mercury connects with Capricorn, love is not always poetic. Sometimes love sounds like, "Did you get home safe?" Sometimes it sounds like, "I made a plan." Sometimes it sounds like, "You can count on me." And that matters more than people realize. Because one of the greatest gifts of Capricorn's connection to Mercury is trust. In a world full of noise, exaggeration, and overpromising, this energy values credibility. Words are not decorations here. They are commitments. A promise should mean something. Advice should be useful. Opinions should be backed by thought. Communication should have substance. That is why people with strong Mercury-Capricorn themes often come across as mature, even when they are young. They naturally understand that what you say becomes part of your reputation. And once reputation is damaged, rebuilding it takes time. That is pure Capricorn. And through Mercury, it becomes a way of thinking. Now this is where the energy rises even higher. Because when this placement is healthy, it is incredible for success. Mercury in Capricorn can think in steps. It can organize chaos. It can turn a dream into a schedule and a schedule into a result. This is the kind of mind that asks the questions others skip. How long will this take? What is the cost? What is the weak point? What happens after the excitement wears off? Can this actually survive in the real world? That kind of thinking may not feel glamorous in the beginning, but it is the reason some people build what others only talk about. This is the mind of the strategist. This is why Capricorn and Mercury together often show up beautifully in business, leadership, planning, management, finance, systems, law, and any field where clarity, discipline, and foresight matter. It is not because this energy is always the most creative in a chaotic sense. It is because it knows how to turn creativity into structure. It knows how to take a possibility and test it against reality. It knows that ideas are only as powerful as their execution. And once Capricorn teaches Mercury that lesson, the mind becomes dangerous in the best possible way. But that is not the whole story. Because every strength has a cost, and this one is no exception. The same energy that makes Mercury in Capricorn wise can also make it heavy. The same caution that protects speech can make someone guarded. The same discipline that builds success can build pressure. Suddenly, the person who sounds composed on the outside is carrying a mind that never fully relaxes. They replay conversations. They question their wording. They worry about sounding foolish. They hold back until they are sure. They edit themselves so much that sometimes the real feeling never gets spoken at all. And that is the hidden ache of this placement. Mercury wants movement. Capricorn slows it down. Sometimes that creates wisdom. Sometimes it creates hesitation. Sometimes the person with this energy has a brilliant mind, but struggles to be spontaneous. They may know exactly what they think after an hour, a day, or a week, but not always in the moment. In vulnerable situations, that can hurt. In love, it can make them seem distant. In conflict, it can make them go silent when they are actually feeling everything. In creative work, it can turn high standards into self-censorship. They do not always fear failure because they are weak. They fear failure because they understand consequences too well. And here is the twist most people miss. Capricorn is not cold. Capricorn is controlled. There is a difference. Cold means nothing is there. Controlled means something is there, but it is being managed, protected, filtered, and disciplined. So when Mercury moves through Capricorn energy, communication can sound restrained without being empty. These people often care deeply, but they prefer to show it in reliable ways. They may not say, "I miss you 10 times a day." They may remember the detail you forgot, solve the problem no one else noticed, and stay when things get difficult. Their words may not always be soft, but their loyalty is often louder than softer signs know how to recognize. And once you understand that, Capricorn's connection to Mercury becomes almost beautiful, because this is the voice of earned wisdom. The voice of someone who has learned that time reveals everything. The voice of someone who would rather say less and mean it than say more and regret it. The voice of someone who knows that truth does not need glitter to be powerful. It only needs backbone. That is why the deeper connection here is really between Mercury and Saturn. Mercury is the mind. Saturn is the structure around that mind. Mercury is language. Saturn is consequence. Mercury is curiosity. Saturn is maturity. When these forces work together, they create thought with discipline, insight with endurance, speech with gravity. But when they fall out of balance, they create anxiety, rigidity, pessimism, and emotional distance. So the real lesson of Capricorn and Mercury is not just seriousness. It is balance. How do you stay thoughtful without becoming fearful? How do you stay responsible without becoming rigid? How do you say things carefully without burying what matters most? That is the transformation this energy asks for. At its highest level, Capricorn does not suffocate Mercury. It strengthens it. It teaches Mercury patience without killing intelligence. It teaches Mercury precision without killing honesty. It teaches Mercury how to stop wasting words and start shaping reality. The best version of this energy is not a person who never speaks. It is a person whose words have direction, a person whose ideas have bones, a person whose mind is capable of dreaming, planning, and building all at once. And that is rare, because most people live in one extreme. They either speak too quickly and regret it, or they say nothing and disappear into themselves. Capricorn and Mercury, when they are aligned, create a third path. Speak with purpose. Think with depth. Move with intention. Let your voice be clear, not loud. Let your mind be disciplined, not imprisoned. Let your truth be steady enough to survive time. So if you have ever wondered why Capricorn energy can make someone sound older than their age, wiser than their years, or strangely commanding without trying, this is why. Mercury enters Capricorn's world and learns that words are not there to float away. They are there to carry responsibility, to create structure, to build trust, to leave a mark. Capricorn does not teach Mercury how to speak more. Capricorn teaches Mercury how to speak so that people remember. And in a world drowning in noise, that may be one of the greatest powers of all. If this spoke to you, like this video, share it with someone who has strong Capricorn energy or Mercury in Capricorn, and subscribe for more astrology that goes deeper than surface traits and tells the truth underneath the sign.
Thanks again for watching the video. I surely appreciate your support. If you enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I really help a lot and motivate me to keep making more videos for you. See you in the next one. Bye.